I remember the night Edidem made his choice. The wind carried his voice across the village square as he spoke with the fire of a man who would not be broken. I will not abandon Inyobong, he declared. If the gods wish to stop me, let them come before me now. The villagers gasped. You do not challenge the gods. Not in our land. Not when the curse had already spoken. The diviner's eyes burned into him. Then prepare yourself, warrior, she said, lifting her staff toward the moon. For you must face the ancestors, and they do not show mercy. I shivered. The ancestors, those who had walked before us, those whose will shaped our fate. To stand before them was to stand between life and death. The next night, deep in the forest, the ritual began. A sacred shrine had been prepared, an ancient altar covered in CBD symbols, its markings glowing under the moonlight. The diviner stood in a white robe, her feet bare against the sacred earth. Flames from tall torches flickered wildly, as if spirits moved through them. Edidem knelt before the altar, stripped of his warrior's tunic, wearing only a red cloth tied around his waist. His body was smeared with white chalk, a sign of purity before the spirits. Inyobong stood nearby, clutching a red scarf, trembling. She was not allowed to speak. The diviner raised a carved wooden idol, the figure of an old woman with hollow eyes. She placed it before Edidem. Drink from the cup of truth, she commanded, handing him a blackened clay bowl filled with a dark liquid. The air was still. Even the trees seemed to stop swaying. Edidem lifted the bowl to his lips and drank. A sudden gust of wind swept through the clearing, and the torches snapped out at once, plunging us into darkness. A drum sounded, low, deep, like the heartbeat of the earth itself. Then, I saw him fall. Edidem's body lay lifeless on the ground. But he was not dead. No. He had crossed over. In the spirit world, he stood before the council of ancestors, tall, faceless figures wrapped in white, their voices as old as time. They spoke in echoes, words that twisted through the air. Why have you defied us? One asked. Because love is stronger than fate, Edidem answered. Laughter called hollow. Fate is stronger than you. Then they showed him. They showed him the past, his father's betrayal, the abandoned woman who had cast their bloodline, the pain that had been passed down. And they showed him the future. If he married Inyobong without breaking the curse, his firstborn would not live past the 7th moon. It was never just about him. The curse was waiting for his child. Then tell me how to end it, Edidem demanded. The ancestors fell silent. Then, the oldest among them spoke. Find the woman who cast the curse. Edidem's eyes widened. She was still alive. Only she can take back what was given. The spirit world faded. The ancestors disappeared. And then, Edidem gasped awake. When he awoke, the village rejoiced. But Edidem did not celebrate. He knew what had to be done. For 3 days and 3 nights, he traveled deep into the forest, following the whispers of the spirits. He climbed hills, crossed rivers, then finally, he reached a hidden compound untouched by time. There, in a hut made of dried palm fronds, sat an old woman. Her name was Ndem. She had been young when Abong Ufot abandoned her. She had cast him in her pain, never knowing that her words would stretch across generations. She looked at Edidem and laughed bitterly. You are his son, she whispered. Edidem knelt before her. I am not my father. She studied him for a long time, then sighed. And yet, you bear the weight of his sins. Edidem did not beg. He did not plead. Instead, he offered her the same thing his father never did, understanding. You have suffered, he said softly. But let the suffering end here. A single tear slipped down the old woman's face. And then, she lifted her hands to the sky, whispering words in the old tongue. The wind shifted. The air grew lighter. Do subscribe to our page and you will learn and be entertained. The curse was broken. When Edidem returned to the village, he held Inyobong's hand in front of the elders. No one objected. The gods had spoken. The curse was lifted. The wedding was the grandest the village had ever seen. The village square was decorated with woven palm fronds and red and gold cloth. Women danced in brightly patterned wrappers, their ankle beads jingling with every step. The air smelled of roasted yam, fresh fish, and the sweetness of palm wine. Edidem wore a royal tunic of deep blue, embroidered with Nsibidi symbols, a coral bead necklace resting against his chest. Inyobong, his bride, was radiant in a crimson wrapper, gold waist beads, and an elaborate headdress adorned with cowries and fresh hibiscus flowers. As they stood before the elders, the chief, Abong Yufot, rose to his feet. He looked at his son, then at Inyobong. For the first time in his life, the old man bowed his head in respect. "You have done what I could not," he said. "You have fought for love." And with that, Edidem and Inyobong drank from the same cup once more, not a cursed cup, but one of blessing, unity, and a love that had conquered fate itself. "I was there when it all began. And I was there when it ended. Not with sorrow, but with joy. And so, love won." Edidem and Inyobong's story became legend. Like and subscribe to our page for more intriguing folktales and other story. We promise to keep you entertained.